Bunnie XO.
She was a Vegas girl.
Bunnie dropping truth.
Bunnie XO.
Dumb Blonde podcast. And Bunnie XO. Kelly Roll's wife, Bunnie XO. Miss Bunnie.
Bunnie XO.
Talk to me about Bunnie XO.
Bunnie.
Got two of the coolest tits.
Is this thing on? What's up, you sexy motherfuckers? Today, I am so excited because I have been wanting this guest forever. Ever since your first album came out, I have been obsessed with you. And not to mention your dad was one of my childhood crushes.
Oh my gosh.
Elle King is in the house, baby.
Wow.
I have been waiting for you to come because you do not know how obsessed I was with Deuce Bigelow.
No,
okay?
you know I was in that.
I did not know that.
Wow, a little foreshadowing. You're like, we're gonna be friends.
Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
was the little Girl Scout.
I love that. I never even knew that. But I mean, I've always been like John Candy and like funny comedians were always my thing. And your dad, like I knew he was like the tiniest little thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
But
if,
I was just
if
like,
he finds this out, he's gonna be like, I've still got it.
oh no. Dude, Rob Schneider was like, it was Rob Schneider, Drew Carey. Like I had a list of like comedians that I loved as a child. And
I always go for funny over anything. Like,
me too.
I mean, I've dated all kinds of different people. But if you make me laugh, you get my heart and
my vagina.
I'm
telling you, man, you make me laugh. My legs are spread wide open.
Yeah, and like throwing like a neck tat, like sold.
Oh, they have to have tattoos.
Yes.
Do you have to date a man with tattoos, or can you date a man who has bare skin?
I'll try anything twice.
I love that.
But I do tend to get along better with, I don't know, it just, I like people who have tattoos. It's
same.
You can withstand, if someone's like covered in tattoos, like they can withstand some things.
Yeah, they can take
or
some
they've
shit.
been through things, you know?
Or they have that like rough around the edges thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're flesh all a mesh and I'm the only one with tattoos, I feel like one of these kids is doing its own thing, and I like want you to be on my team. You know,
Yes,
like you need to be covered in tattoos too.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you dating right now?
I am actually back with my baby daddy.
We're gonna dive into this.
I know.
Okay, hence the tour name, right?
Yes. And we broke up for a year, and I was going through really, really insane postpartum. And I don't even think that I realized I was going through it until I kind of got out of it. And we were already broken up, and he just kept showing up, and we became best friends. And then through like custody and everything and working together and like a lot of therapy on my part, we like restarted our communication, our like respect for each other. Aww. And I never stopped being in love with him. And then finally he was just like, I wore the right set of underwear and just like locked in.
I love that.
And we're doing really, really well.
I love that you're talking about postpartum though, because I feel like a lot of women in the spotlight, like you guys literally will have babies and then you're thrust back into the spotlight, and it's like you don't have time to heal. You don't have time to nurture yourself.
No.
And then the world wants to be mad at you if like you're not this picture perfect human that they've put you on this pedestal.
Yeah, it's honestly like it's kind of fucked up because I really struggled to get pregnant in a lot of different relationships, and now I know it's like God's timing is not up to us, and even our baby's timing is not up to us. Amen. And I think that like the pandemic, everything was shut down, and I was able to like rest. I sold my house in LA. I moved to New Mexico. I had donkeys and goats, and I got pregnant. And because I wasn't on the road, I didn't have all this pressure. I ballooned up. I got so heavy, and I got up to 284 pounds the day that I delivered my son. And then
it was happy weight though.
Yeah, I mean, it was miserable weight, but it was also like my body did what it had to do, and then it took me 3 years to lose baby weight. And the thing that made me so mad is like in this day and age, like no one gives any credit for anything. I don't care how anybody loses weight. If somebody takes charge of their own life, not that anyone has to, because I've been every single size, but like I worked really, really hard because I was so depressed. I started working 3 months after I had my son. I was back on the road and I was like I like already stopped breastfeeding. I was so stressed out. And then I just started working out to try and get my mind right because I was like blue. I was really sad, really miserable. And then my song with Miranda, Drunk, like really went crazy during my pregnancy. So many changes happened so quickly, so fast. And then I don't know, I just like, you'd think anything that I know about or had known about postpartum was like, oh, like you could like be kind of sad like for a couple weeks, a couple months after. And I'm like looking down and like it's 2 years after and like I'm getting ready to celebrate my son's second birthday and I'm not with his dad and I'm like, I feel so lost. I tried a lot of different therapies. I tried like all kinds of like different psychedelic stuff. I tried talk therapy. I tried everything. And ultimately I had to go through certain experiences on my own, some of which I didn't want to go through, but
Like life experiences?
like life experiences, like, you know, I'm already kind of, I don't want to say like I'm sick of talking about like what happened in January and the Dolly incident. And I'm sure people are not going to like what I have to say about a lot of it, but like I can already look back and be like, you know what? I have this good thing that came from it. This thing changed in my life. I was presented with an opportunity to grow. And I think that every experience is an opportunity for change.
Yes, ma'am.
And change is inevitable. It's the blade that carves itself or sharpens itself, whatever that quote is. And I really like that. But like, I don't know.
When that Dolly incident happened, were you still going through postpartum? Was that part of it?
Honestly, I think I'd kind of come out of postpartum and then everything that had accumulated, everything that I had just like sucked onto my life in my like depression, all just kind of came to a head. And I think it was probably just rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. And I just took, for the first time, like, you know, when I was pregnant, like, I was like, okay, maybe I've got this time given to me. This year was the first time I was like, I'm stepping away from this. Everyone's telling me to kill myself. Everyone's telling me to surrender my child.
Yeah.
And it was just so wrong. And, you know, if a man did it, it would have been a completely different story. But also, like, I've spoken to everybody and I've spoken to everyone at the Opry and they said that I'm not banned. And
country is forgiving. They are really forgiving people.
It is. And the saddest part about it is like, and I don't even really want to use these words, but like somebody is going to get arrested. Somebody is going to get something that happens. And, you know, some people might say it's good for you, but like, for me, I'm like, that's sad. The biggest thing I learned was like, okay, take nothing that you read online for like full-blown truth, because everything, you never know. From my experience, especially what was going on then, I was going through some like heavy shit. Not even postpartum, not even my breakup, not even just that. It's just like,
can we touch on it?
I mean, it was a dark situation that I can't talk about, and I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But like
a relationship.
Yeah, it was like bad shit that was going on, and because of that, no one knew what was really going on, and they just thought like, God forbid somebody looks and thinks, wow, like, what was going on with her that day? You know, like I played 2 shows that day. I played 2 fucking shows. The first show was great. It was perfect, but I hadn't eaten. I hadn't done anything. I hadn't slept in days. I had such bad anxiety and everything. And I just walked back out on stage and I'd taken 1 shot too many. We went through that alleyway and went to Robert's Western World and a bunch of people were celebrating. And I took, 1 shot of tequila when I had been drinking a martini, and like, that, I was like the tiniest I'd ever been. And boom, I could come to and like the curtain's down. And it sucks. It's awful. But at the same time, I went home and I was like, I never want to cry like that in a car ride home. I never want to wake up feeling like that ever again. I never want to feel that shame. I never want to anytime Dolly Parton calls you is cool, but like I didn't want it to be under those circumstances. And like, but she called me to make me feel better, you know?
She's a sweet angel of a woman.
She's like proof of angels. She truly is. And I think what that taught, like I learned so much from this experience. And like if I can come out of it, literally anyone can. And I've had so many experiences like that. I hope I have less of them in the future.
I'm with you, girl. I went through some shit this last week. I'm like, Lord, what are you trying to teach me?
It's like, come on. Like my book of lessons is like getting kind of full.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do believe in like many lives.
Absolutely. And I also believe in soul contracts. And I believe that.
Me too.
Oh, tell me,
too.
What do you believe? Let me know.
Okay. So I believe I did. Okay, this is kind of wacky, and
I love it.
I don't know if people believe in this stuff.
No, we do.
I'm so into it. I'm very spiritual.
Same.
I'm very connected to spirit. I meditate. I've got guides.
Oh,
I
love
studied
you.
with
Sister.
Yes,
where
I
have you
read
been?
tarot.
They're all over here laughing because this is me.
Okay, amazing. Okay, good. Then
You
know my audience.
You found your coven.
Okay, great. Sick. I did this one reading with a woman, and it was called like a rose reading. I'd never done anything like that. And she went through some past lives. And because I'm clairvoyant and clairsentient, I also don't talk about this a lot, but I don't care. I have nothing to hide. And you are too?
Yes.
Okay, I believe that.
Yes.
And I feel like that's why we're like supposed to be connected. It was like over the phone because it was during COVID. It was right before COVID when things were like starting to like get crazy. And she was explaining a couple of my past lives, and I was like locked in with her, and I could see her. Like I could see everything that she was seeing, and everything lined up. And I asked her, I said, have I ever had a child in a past life? And she said, no. And so she said, you're going to have to make a soul contract with someone to bring like for this lifetime. And I mean, I've even had like psychics. One time I was pregnant before I had a miscarriage, and he was like, have you ever had a miscarriage? And I was like, no, not that I know of. Like, boom, a week later I had a miscarriage, and then the next pregnancy was missed. And so I think that I had to have a soul contract with either my baby. I don't know how all of it works, but I know that like my baby chose me, and I know that he's like destined to be here. But to do that, like I'm so into healing, and I'm all into like a lot of like spiritual stuff. So I felt like it's true. I saw something online that was like, if you're ever feeling like called to a place, like you need to go because there's something that has to happen there. I'd never been to Bali, and I went probably like, it was like in January, and I had had like 2 back-to-back miscarriages in September and end of August and into September, and was still on the road like 3 days after, like bleeding on stage, everything. So sad and doomy gloomy. It's easier now.
That's your childhood trauma, is to push through any sort of pain and not sit in it.
Yeah. It's because I can't. That's when I lose my mind.
Me too. I don't want to wallow.
No. I'm like, okay, what job can I do? Okay, what can I do? Like, let's make another album. Let's do something. And then I lose my mind because I'm not actually taking the time. My new thing, I got to feel it to heal it. And so that's what I did. That's why I took time this year. I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but
no, I love it, and I'll draw you in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I felt this like pull to Bali, and I looked up this healing ceremony in the middle of the jungle, and I dragged my best friend with me, and she was like, okay. And even though she's like into like metaphysical, spiritual stuff, she was like, this is like a little much. And I'm like meeting with this healer, and she says to me, I was like, I had a miscarriage, and like all I want to be is a mother. Aww. And she said, well, the soul is a boy, and he'll come back to you. And I said, what do I have to do? And she said, you have to make a sacrifice. And I was like quitting smoking. And she was like, just looked at me and got up and walked away, and then did this like crazy thing where they like whip you with flour. It was beautiful, and like poured all this like gorgeous water all over you, and then you like scream, and then they like paint like flowers all over you, and they pray for you, and it was beautiful. It was so incredible. Aww. And that year is when I got pregnant, and I had a boy, and it was just beautiful. I believed it. There's something so, I think, important about just like what like your convictions are and what you believe in. And it's so simple as like the thoughts you tell yourself or the things that you say out loud. All of it is energy.
Oh, words are spells.
Yes.
Yes, I tell everybody that.
It's everything that you, like today I had a doctor's appointment and like I was really scared about it and I didn't
Me too. I had one today too. What was yours about? Can we ask?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But I didn't want to like put negative thing. Like I was so freaked out about it that like I refused to say like, it's not going to be good. I just like, I'm nervous.
Yes.
And I felt like that was better.
I had one today too, where I was finding out if I really had an aneurysm on my carotid artery.
Oh my gosh.
I had just found out last week that I had one. Today I got the news that I didn't have one. And I know exactly what you're saying because I never, when I prayed, I wasn't like, God, please don't let me have this. I just said, whatever your will is.
Yeah.
And let me know what the lesson is here.
Yeah.
And I never, and I get that. I understand when you're so scared, your first thing is you want to be like, no, please don't let the,
Yeah.
But I really was just like surrendered and it was my moment to actually learn how to have faith.
Yes.
And it worked. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't speak those things into your life, not saying that it doesn't happen for everybody, but if you don't speak those things into your life, you can definitely, I feel, change the energy or the trajectory of what's about to happen.
Yes. And you can create that.
Absolutely.
That's like the whole thing about manifestation, and which is something I learned about this year. And I even just speaking it.
Yes.
Like I didn't realize what I was doing. Like when I took time off, when I was thinking like, oh fuck, like I could go back to the world and I could have no fucking career. I could have no musical career. I could never play a show again. I could get dropped from my label. My management could drop me. And I started thinking, all right, bitch, what do you want to fucking do? Like, what would be cool? What would excite you? Because I'm a very passionate person. I'm a very hard worker. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to play like a bad guy in a movie?
I love that.
My dad's an actor and I don't really feel like I get a lot of the nepotism stuff. And it makes me sad for the people who do, because
that's one thing I've loved about you is that when I was researching your life story, you're a lot like me. I didn't come from, very much, but I always wanted to pave my own way. And you were just like, I want to make my own way.
Yeah.
I respect.
I didn't really grow up with my dad. I grew up with my mom and my
let's touch on that. Let's go back and talk about that real quick. So you are a daughter of Rob Schneider, Daddy Schneider. Yeah. And every time I say that, she blushes. And a beautiful Miss London King.
Yes.
And who was like a supermodel, correct?
Yeah. She's the coolest. Yeah.
You are her twin. I mean, you guys are beautiful. You are her twin. I could see a little bit of your dad in you, but you are her just, reincarnated. Take me on this journey with your childhood, because I don't think a lot of people don't know that your dad was not in your life growing up.
He really wasn't. And it's interesting because I was born in California, but like my parents, they weren't married for very long. They didn't really know each other. And my mom had a son before me. My mom was a really, really young mom. My family comes from Southern Ohio, like very close to West Virginia. And it's a super small town. I think it's like 1,800 people, which is like big for a small town. There's more than one stoplight.
Yeah.
And it's the place that is and always has been my constant, because my family moved around a lot. And my parents, they split, and I would spend time with my dad, but my mom raised me, like always. My mom, single mom until she met my stepdad, who also, he's my dad. Like he totally raised me. And
shout out to the step parents.
Yes.
I'm a step parent.
Yes, you are. And they're so important. Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't be a musician if it weren't for my stepdad.
Aww,
and he taught me everything I know about music. I mean, he's got his own label, Good Times Rock and Roll Club. I'm wearing his shirt. He's a screen printer.
I want some.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They'll send you a whole care package and records and stuff.
I would love that.
And he's just like the most badass person ever. And my mom, I saw her reinvent herself like almost every 10 years, because she was a fit model, she was a model, she did some acting, and then she became like a fitness instructor, and she was like helping, she was like really, really, really into health. And then when we moved to New York, when I was about 12 years old, we left Ohio because my stepdad's from New York. And my mom became a doula. And she like my mom's pretty crunchy, but she's the coolest. Like she encapsulated my placenta. And I'm
Okay, what is encapsulating placenta just for people at home who don't know what that is?
Okay, so the placenta is basically, it's like a filter, but it's also what gives all the nutrients and all the life from the uterus to the baby. And it's what's connected to the umbilical cord from the baby to the mama. And so it's, sometimes they call it like the afterbirth, and it comes out after you have, after you give birth. And we are the only, I don't want fact checkers to come after me, but I'm going to try my best. We're the only mammals that don't like instinctively or naturally eat our placenta or after birth because it's like so full of nutrients. So I don't know if anyone's ever seen like a dog or a cat give birth, but like they eat it. They
eat the membranes off their puppies and stuff. I've seen it. Yeah,
because it helps them. And so some people say that. Well, I mean, there's a lot of factual evidence behind it, but I don't want like super Western medicine people to come after me about that because I believe it.
Everybody gives grace here.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And so my mom cooks the placenta and then encapsulates it, and then the woman or the mother slowly eats it over time.
What does it
just
taste
like a vitamin.
What does it taste like? Anything?
Well, Dan, my boyfriend, he ate a piece of my placenta. It was cooked. He was like, this is the closest I could be to a cannibal. So, it's like guys with neck tattoos who are funny. I don't know. What are you going to do? They're wild.
You're like, let's make another baby.
Yeah, exactly. And, but it made me feel like when I took it, it made me feel like kind of anxious. And I don't know. I always feel like I'm like letting my mom down because she's this like angelic, like I was a VBAC, so she had a C-section with my brother, and then she had a natural birth with me, and she said it was an orgasmic birth. There's a document.
I love mom.
I know. Oh my God, I know.
I love mom. She's right up my alley.
She's wonderful. You guys would love each other. And she literally made me and Dan watch this documentary called Orgasmic Birth. And I was like, cool,
okay, so
Mom.
Tell me about this, orgasmic births. I've never heard of this.
Okay, great. Neither had I. No, actually, I'd heard of it my whole life because my mom was like, I had an orgasmic birth with you. And I was like, Mom, stop telling people that.
Words every kid wants to hear.
Yes, but it was like, it's basically the whole like idea of it. From what I took from the documentary, I was like, I'm not having that. That's not me. I was like, cut this puppy out. You kind of like get yourself into this state. And I was just watching that show, Too Hot to Handle, where they had energy orgasms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
So I don't think it's that far off from that. So you get yourself into this state of like relaxation, and you're connected with your partner. And then I guess you have this like flush that's like, an orgasmic release of it's. I don't think it's like a sexual pleasure, but watching that thing, like, you can learn a lot from reality TV. I can understand now how it could be this like orgasmic feeling of like, oh my gosh, combined with like, I did it, and wow, my baby's here, and
pride and joy.
Yeah,
and
like it makes me think like, do I want to try for like a VBAC if I have another kid? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things. Most likely, if I would be like, cut this fucker out. That's how I was in my pregnancy.
I still think it's a beautiful thing to think about. So I mean, if I'm scared to death of natural birth, that's why Jay and I are doing IVF, and we're gonna get a surrogate. But because I also have issues too, and I just at this age, I don't have time for miscarriages and stuff like that. So, but yeah, women who give birth, man, you guys are fucking savages, dude. Like that is the most barbarically beautiful thing that a woman can do. And I mean, you guys are literally just pushing a soul out of your body.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, I had a C-section. I freaked out on the table. I was screaming, I can't feel my eggs. And I was screaming for them. I was like, I literally, like, it's so me. They didn't even let my mom come up, but because it was during freaking COVID. And so I was like, give me drugs. Where is Dan? Screaming for him to come in there.
Poor Dan's in a corner somewhere.
I know, he's like, what's going on, babe? But it was cool. I feel like I won't do anything that my parents ever expect of me. And I felt kind of sad. And I don't know, I'm just like a different person. And I definitely have like a very different destiny. But I also thought, like, because my pregnancy was so hard and intense, like, and before Dan and I got back together, I wanted another child. And I asked my sister, I was like, because she's had 3 kids, she got her tubes tied, but she can still tote it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I love that.
I was like, hey, like, would you carry baby for me? Like, it wasn't even 2 seconds later. She's like, if you pay for a tummy tuck. It's like, that's good. Like, that's cool.
I love that.
But yeah, I was like looking up, like, you know, cryobanks and everything. And I think that surrogacy is so beautiful, and like, what a gift. I think I hate it when I see that people like get anything negative about how they choose to be healthy, how they choose to welcome children into this world. It should only be, like, I've chills thinking about it. It should only ever be celebrated. Because again, to bring it back, like, you have no fucking idea what someone had to go through to even get to that point, to make that decision.
I just think we live in a world where it's like a fish tank. And some days you're the fish that gets picked on. And it's like they will zero in. Like when you went through the Dolly situation, I remember it broke my heart. And I reached out to you because I was like, she doesn't fucking deserve this. I've met you. I've felt your energy. I'm like, she is the sweetest fucking soul. And that's why I reached out to you, because I wanted you to know, like, you're not alone. But this online shit, man, it's bad. Like, it is mob mentality. And it's millions of people mob mentality that just
feel like
have
it's
a fucking
getting worse.
It is
too.
It is, because
Like,
there's no recourse.
No.
So if you say something, nothing happens, you know,
but
like, and
I thought, like, after all the stuff from like early 2000s with like the Perez Hiltons and all of that, just like horrible, horrific bullying. Like, and then I thought maybe like, okay, no more bullying is like a thing. Like, no. And the saddest part about it, which is the only way that I can like still have a fucking Instagram, it's like, okay, that person who's saying that is hurting.
yeah. Well, you have to post and ghost. That's what I do now.
I mean, yes.
I had to learn that in the last 6 months. Well, actually,
you can't look at it, right?
Nope. I'll look at the first 5 and then I leave it alone for a few days when I'm feeling a little bit stronger, and then I'll go back in. And if there's some, by that time I'm over that post and it doesn't mean anything. So I'll just delete or block, you know, if I need to. But I just post and ghost, and it's been the blessing for my mental health, dude.
You have to, because I mean, like, most days I'm like, I don't want to do Instagram.
Yeah.
And I used to love it. I used to love it because I actually interact with my fans.
Yeah.
And then
same. Yeah.
Some people would comment like, hey, you're getting like 150 really kind things and you're only interacting with the person who said something mean.
I get that too.
And it's weird because, like, you know what? That's fucking true. That's so true. Why? And then people, they want that. They want to fight. It's so weird.
You can't win. You cannot win. It doesn't matter. And they're always wittier. For some reason, they will come back and say some of the craziest shit, and you're just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's
really,
really wild. I just go straight for like the your mom jokes, because it's so.
Me too. I do that. That's
so
my whole
stupid.
thing. Like, they'll be like, you're such a whore, and I'll be like, that's not what your dad said about your mom, or you know, like, I'll say something like fucking funny.
I say like, that's not what your mom said last night. Like, okay, so stupid. It's like, because it's so stupid.
Yeah, no, seriously. So let's circle back to your childhood. So you grew up in Ohio, and I think a lot of people were like, when you did, and we'll get into your album and stuff, like your albums and stuff like that, but when you did cross over into country, did you get any kind of pushback because people were like, oh, you're not country, but really you are. You grew up in a rural part of Ohio. Yeah,
I didn't actually get any pushback. I think because I connected with country fans, and the biggest pushback was that, okay, when I would get really drunk, like if anyone were to ever meet my brother and see us together, like we say the Billy comes out, like my hillbilly comes out. And so when I'm drunk, like I like become this like rootin' tootin' fucking, hillbilly.
Yosemite Sam.
Yes. Yeah. And, but no one ever takes the time to find out where someone's from. No one ever
Right.
takes the time to find out
Their
parents'
backstory.
history. It's like, all they see is like, she was born in LA. Her dad's Rob Schneider. She's like, da, da, da. It's like, God forbid you find out that like, I'm also Filipino and my family is hillbilly as fuck in a nice way,
Wow. Who's Filipino? Dad?
My dad's Filipino.
Wow, I never knew.
I had two very like different. I spent a lot of time with my dad's mom, my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's from Manila, and I had a really large like Filipino family in Northern California.
Wow.
And so my dad would always be working, but my grandmother, she would fly at like 60 something years old. She would fly from San Francisco to Columbus, Ohio, pick me up at like 4 or 5 years old, fly me back to San Francisco to spend a weekend with me, fly me back to Columbus, and then she would fly back to San Francisco. And like, that's grandmother love right there.
That
you know?
is.
And she taught me a lot about family values. I love Filipino culture. I love Filipino food.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good.
And so I had that, and then I had this like very like super American Midwest like country family life in Ohio. But I was like a rebel. Like I got kicked out of school in 2nd grade. I was always in trouble. I was like friends with all the bad kids.
Where do you
And
think that rebellious streak came from? Do you think it was from your father's absence?
no, it could have had a lot of that. I think now that I'm a mom, like if I hear of something with a child that is acting out, my first thought is what needs are not being met of the child, not, oh, that's a problem kid. Oh, that kid is
Absolutely.
a fuck up.
Right.
And I was labeled as a really bad kid, but honestly, like I didn't have like a massive amount of structure. My mom was a hustler. My mom was working. She always had 3 jobs. She was always traveling. My mom would go back and forth to Hong Kong. So we'd spend a lot of time with my grandparents in Southern Ohio. And
That's mama and papa?
Mama and Papa, yeah.
I did my research.
Yes. and so I don't know. And then if I would ever spend a summer with my dad, it would be on a movie set, and I would just get lost in the shuffle. And
Did you ever feel like you guys could connect, or it was just more of like
not till I was much, much older.
I feel
ever.
like, and this is not an excuse for dads at all, but I feel like dads have a hard time relating to younger kids.
I think
Not all of them.
it's
but
hard.
yeah.
I think dads who make the choice to connect with their kids
Yeah.
do. And my dad and my relationship is like a real big ebb and flow. Like right now we're not flowing. I disagree with a lot of the things that he says. And he is just, I don't know, you can want someone to change so much. And ultimately, like you can't control anyone else's actions. You can't control people's feelings. All you can control is how you react and what you do with your feelings.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I fucking boil up and I boil over and I fucking bust my lid. I'm trying so hard to not be that way because
I feel like that's how I'm wired the same way. And my dad and I actually have the same, he just passed away in May.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. He and I had the same type of relationship where I felt like I was always the one to give it to my dad, because nobody else did.
Yeah.
But I was always the one that was there to be like, no, you're wrong. No, you need to change this. No. And even in the end, it never got through.
And you try every different angle. I would try letters. I would try soft.
Yeah.
I would try yelling. And it's just like, well, see, look, you're yelling. Or like, you can't even stick up for yourself. It's like, what? Like, it's psychotic. And I mean,
It's that generation of men, for some reason, they're so fucking toxic and they're cool being toxic.
Yeah.
It's everybody else's fault. but
everyone
theirs.
else is the problem because they're like perfect and they're right.
Yeah.
And they're
they're
not.
like so smooth in their delivery too. You're just like,
It's like,
show
that's-
some fucking emotion.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That is sick. You are wrong for that. It's so fucking weird. And like, ultimately, it made me a very strong person, but I'm also an extremely anxious person too. And like,
You grew up with OCD, correct?
oh yeah.
When did that start? Like, when did you start realizing like, hey, I have an issue here with this? Because I'm OCD myself.
Okay. Well, I have my OCD comes out in like very mild Tourette's. And I twitch constantly and oh my gosh, I'm like so embarrassed about it. And so
it's beautiful.
It
What do you
makes me mad
mean?
because people are like, she's tweaking online. It's like, motherfucker, like I used to be fucking tweaking and nobody said shit then. Now I'm fucking sober and now my Tourette's are fucking coming out because I'm not even taking like medications for it because I'm just trying to like come into my womanhood and like be myself. And it's like my hands twitch and it's so that my facial tics don't go crazy, but my OCD, I was diagnosed when I was like in 6th grade because I had this whole like number thing and this touching thing. I had to touch everything with 2 fingers, like really intense stuff. And I was like a compulsive eater. So, and that was like something that a lot of people in my family had like big issues with. And it's like,
well, it's got to be hard, you know, because your mom
Yeah.
was a supermodel.
Yes.
And I'm sure your mom probably dealt with her own issues with eating too, because being in that industry, there's no way that you can't.
cutthroat, cutthroat. And she had to stay a size 6 consistently or she would not get work.
Yeah.
But my mom spun it in a way where she took her struggles and all the pressures that she felt her whole life and she spun it into always telling me to love myself. And like she had a chubby daughter because I felt like both of my parents had their like obsessions with eating. I'm probably gonna get in so much trouble for talking about this, but like I don't care. My
think
mom will be
it's-
proud.
I was going to say, I think that people need to hear this because not enough people do talk about
Yeah.
it. You know, my husband struggles with the same thing and he's very open about it. And I think that there's a large number of kids that need to hear this too.
It's hard. It's so hard. And like you think about, you know, all the things that someone could get addicted to. And ultimately, like, 1, I've been addicted to all of them. 2, it's really like, it started with food for me and compulsive eating because it was like where I found comfort.
Yeah.
And both of my grandmothers, they were, you know, like, they were huggable. They were heavier women, but they had so much trauma that they grew up with.
Yeah.
And like my grandmother saw her freaking brother get beheaded in the war in the Philippines.
Oh my goodness.
Like so, she would eat and she would feed me. You know, she would feed me like lots of food. And then my grandmother, like,
And it's also a love language too.
100%.
Yeah.
My grandmother in Ohio, my mama, like, she could cook like nobody's business. And she would just like, baby, you want more? Let me feed you. And it was just so good. And I would put sweet cream corn on top of my mashed potatoes. And that's what I would eat. That's literally still to this day my comfort food.
Sounds so good.
It's so delicious.
Sounds so good.
But like maybe not good for you, but I guess subjective, right? And so I was like a really, really heavy child. My dad sent me to fat camp. I mean, yeah, it was rough. And then I got in trouble one year because I sprained my ankle and I didn't lose any weight. So it's like very toxic and very silly and like
It's got to
so-
be how old were you when you got sent to the fat camp?
I
I don't know.
went-
Is it okay to call it a fat camp? What
I
do we
mean,
call-
listen, hey, I called it that, and that's what I went to.
I just want to
don't
make
think-
sure I don't insult anybody because I feel so bad. You know,
No,
weight
it's
camp.
awful, but like
Yeah.
it's the F word. The F word is so triggering for me.
And for me too, because of my husband,
Yeah.
and it's so, and I've seen the effects of that word on
It's
people,
so
and it's so
awful.
hurtful, and so I never, you know, I just want to make sure we
It's
pronounce
so
it.
awful, but like that's where he sent me to.
Yeah.
I remember him.
How
like,
old were you?
I went 2 summers in a row. I was 11 and 12, and it's like
What do they do in these camps?
they literally like you get like a slice of turkey and like steamed vegetables for like every meal, and they make you work out all day long.
That's not healthy though.
No, and
You need way more calories than that to make your
yeah,
metabolism.
and also you need fucking therapy. Like you need to talk about it.
There it is.
And you need to figure out like what is
There's
causing
no
you to
therapy
eat.
in those?
I never had therapy. Like they did
Wow.
things that were like adults went there too, and like I think some people saw results.
Because they
I
were
definitely
starving
didn't.
themselves.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't, and there was a lot of other stars kids who went there, so that was sad. And I mean it was
got
just
to
like
be
dark.
traumatizing. That probably had to start your anger towards your father too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like it got to a point where like I didn't want to spend the summer with him, and like when. I got kicked out of almost every school I went to. I got kicked out of when the first school that I went to in New York City was a school called York Prep, and I don't know. I was probably I refused to wear the uniform. I would like yell back at teachers and I always had problems with authority.
Me too. That was I got kicked out of every school I went to too.
See?
I get it.
But it doesn't, we're not dumb. We don't have a lack of intelligence. We probably just learn a different way than any kind of box structure that most people can, function in a one size fits all.
I think us as children, types of women that we are, we also learned at a very young age that we were surrounded by people we did not want to be like.
Yeah.
I know that my family, I looked around at everybody and I'm like, you toxic motherfuckers. Not saying I wasn't, but I was just like, man, I am here to break a cycle.
Yes.
And I think that's, even though we didn't know that's what we were doing at such a young age, we're like rebels without a cause, but really we did have a cause. We were sent here to shake shit up and break some chains.
Yeah. Even if it hurts, because unfortunately, we're also strong enough to be able to handle and carry that burden of hurt, because in some like dark, twisted knife way, like it will continue to push us. And I mean, I believe it that God never gives us anything that we can't handle. And sometimes it feels like, are you sure?
Yeah, last week, that's how I felt. I was like, really? We good? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that now that I'm like less destructive, I can see the blessings and the lessons in things much sooner. And I mean, like literally as these words are like leaving my mouth, I'm like, listen to that, bitch. Like, listen to it.
Yes, no. And when you're
it.
in it, it is so hard. And I trust me, I get it. Like I said, I just went through it. But it is like amazing what the mind can do, because what the mind believes, the body will follow.
Yes.
And I always tell people that. And words are spells. And like, it doesn't matter what you say. If you say, like, I feel like I'm going to die, like that. And I have a problem saying stuff like that. Like when I don't feel good, I'll be like, I feel like I'm going to die. And then I have to correct myself and be like, no, I don't mean that. You have to really be careful with what you say and what you put in the world.
Definitely.
Circling back. So you had said that you did not want to, you got to a point where you stopped wanting to go and spend summers with your dad.
Yeah. I mean, like he was filming this one like prison movie in like Stockton, California, in a prison.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, there's not very many cool hang spots in Stockton.
And
shout out the Diaz brothers.
I had already started getting tattooed, and it was like 108 degrees like every single day. So I was having to wear sweaters because my dad was like very anti-tattoos or like any form of self-expression that differed from what he wanted for me. Not that he ever even thought about me, but
you're killing my fantasy of Rob.
I'm so sorry.
It's over. It's done. It's over with.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Team L all day.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm Team L all day.
But yeah, I just like I would get in so much trouble, and now like a massive part like of like I guess little T's that have turned into massive paranoia. Paranoia.
Yes.
What's paranorma?
I don't know. I was gonna say, is that like ghosts or something?
I don't know, but like it'd be a ghoul like
Paranorma.
A ghoul dog name. What the fuck? I like spend one day in this like witchy house. It's cool. And I don't remember what I was talking about.
Oh, Dad, you had to wear sweaters, covering the tattoos,
and so like I didn't want to be. Okay. My little teeth. So I would get in so much trouble if I ever. Oh my gosh, if I ever messed up a shot, or if I ever was like an arm in the camera, or like if I ever was talking, like I would get in fucking trouble. And like I spent, I'm really putting shit out there right now. But like my dad forgot about every single birthday. Like I spent my 18th birthday in a summer school like class with like Algebra 1, and because if I didn't take it, I wouldn't graduate. And they brought me cupcakes, and I came home. My dad forgot my birthday. It's okay. I read an entire. Yeah, it's totally hurtful. But like, you know what?
That shapes and molds you.
I put every ounce of my being into my son's birthday. Like every birthday, even for my friends.
Goosebumps.
Like every birthday, because I know how it feels to be forgotten on your birthday. And that's so sad. It's like, come on, it's my one fucking day. It's my one day.
Give me that.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
And so like I stopped wanting to go. And then I got kicked out of school in New York in 6th or 7th grade. And my mom was like, I am done with her. I was being bad. I got my tongue pierced. My mom walked in on me and a boy. And she was like,
Mom's losing her shit.
Yes. And my mom is tough. My mom, like, she doesn't give up on me ever. But my mom was like, she's fucking your problem. And he was like, what do you want me to do with her? And he was going to Amsterdam. So I was 14.
Oh, no.
And he took me to Amsterdam. And he, I mean,
Oh, no. That's
I feel
not
like
a
we all
recipe
can
for
tell where
disaster.
this is going. My dad hired this 21-year-old, sweet. She was an Indian young woman. She was a virgin, and her name was Aman. And she was lovely. And every single day I'd say, let's go to the flower markets. And and I would be like, oh yeah, wow, look at those tulips. And then I would dip back behind. I'd like watch her freak out looking for me, and I'd go straight to the red light district. I still to this day roll the best joints ever. But like, I wanted culture. I wanted to see things, and I didn't want every single day I would ditch the nanny. And she didn't want to lose her job, so she never told my dad.
Aw.
So I basically just spent however many months we were there in Amsterdam. I would go to like my homeschool like teacher. I was like, I was learning some Dutch and French or something, but like, I never paid attention. I can always distract somebody. Like I had this one tutor, I'd be like, oh, you're into Dungeons and Dragons? That's cool. Like, I don't really want to learn about like science, man. And then, like one time we went to, anytime my dad would like have me on a trip, he would like forget that he had me. And so I know, because he's not a great planner. And
That's the least of his worries.
yeah. And so he took me to Russia and with him. And
Oh, no.
I was probably 18. Actually, but the thing is, like, I refuse to like waste a trip.
Yeah.
So
I love that even at such a young age, you were like, motherfucker, I'm here to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in Russia, and he was like in a basement, like getting ready to do some TV show. He had 2 security guards, and I was like, hey, we're in Moscow. Like, I'm not sitting in this basement TV studio. I was like, I'm gonna go out. And he would always just be like reading something, like, whatever, take one of the security guards with you. I was like, great. So this like beautiful Russian, like tuxedo fucking wearing, like young, handsome security guard. I was like, what do you do in Moscow? And he's like, do you like to ride rides? And I was like, I fucking love rides. Takes me to an amusement park, rides all the fucking rides with me, is in like photo booth pictures with me, takes me to get like the big Russian hat. And then like I had started to lose some of my like teenage weight. And he was staying with like this my dad was like there for this like really rich lady, and she let me buy this like La Perla gown and like heels because they had some fashion show. And I was like, I'm such a tomboy, I don't know how to walk in heels. And there was like 25 steps down from this party. And the guy was like, Nikolai, he picked me up, walks me down the steps, opens the limo with me in his arms, and like sets me down. And I was like, yeah, thank you. Thank you. So
did you and Nikolai ever hook up?
No.
damn it.
But, I think of him fondly. It's just like, that was like my bodyguard moment.
What's baby daddy's name? Dan, you're not listening.
Dan, yeah.
Dan, you're not listening right now.
We're never going to Russia together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fucking Dan. Dan's like, we're never
He's
going
like,
to Russia, babe.
Damn it.
Damn it,
Quit
Nikolai.
telling that Nikolai story.
That, or he's going to be like, next time we have sex, call me Nikolai.
Okay, I love that. Babe, just pick me up.
I love that. So circling back though, you did say that your stepfather influenced your trajectory into music. Take me on that journey.
So my stepdad, his name is Justin, and he met my mom. He was the lead singer in this rock and roll band in Columbus called Bob City. Amazing rock and roll. And my mom started dating him, and her best friend was dating somebody else in the band. And so
we love band boys around here.
Yes. And I just had like rock and roll people all around me. And he still to this day has the best record collection I've ever seen. And like he came into our lives when I was like, I don't know, maybe six or 7. And I remember being like so young, and like he didn't care, sticky-fingered kids and all, just like he would let me go through all the records, and he'd be like, you like that? Listen to this. Like some of my earliest memories of like singing along to music is like my first like time singing like Into a Hairbrush in the Mirrors, like Captain and Tennille, Love Will Keep Us Together. It's because he had all these records, and he would say like, he still makes like New Music Friday playlists that he like sends out to all of his friends because he just has the coolest taste in music. And he just shaped me. And so when we moved to New York, my mom always had me like, you always have to have some kind of extracurricular, because I think she knew like academics were not gonna be my, the foot that I lead with. So
I love that, the foot that I lead with.
Yeah. So I was taking violin at 4 years old, or anytime I wanted to quit something, she'd be like, you can quit it, but you have to replace it with something. I tried ice skating, like ice sports, not my thing. Summer, like water stuff, that's me, but frozen stuff, no. Or like piano, vocal lessons. And when we moved to New York, his best friend and one of his bandmates, Elle King, super talented guitar player, he taught me how to play guitar, and it was just kind of on from there. And the way he taught me, it was just like, he's like, I can't teach you how to read music, but I can teach you how to play all your favorite songs, and I can help you like learn how to sing along to it. And that's how, because I think also because I studied Suzuki, which is an ear training method on violin, I think I'm more attuned to stringed instruments. So I can kind of pick up like almost, like a guitar, a bass, a violin, a mandolin, banjo, anything, and kind
That's
of
a
find my way
talent
around
too,
it.
though. That's a talent. Not everybody can do that.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but that's
say that.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I feel like she's like my soul sister. Like everything, it's so crazy. It's a talent though, because I actually was taught how to read music, so I can read music, but I can't. If I hear something, I can't play it. So I've always been envious of people who can do that. I think that's such a beautiful thing.
Well, maybe we have to start a band.
I'll do it. I'll do it, and then we'll go on tour with Daddy Roll.
Yes. That was. I mean, listen, I had fun on that tour. I loved it.
We had
It was
a blast,
great.
dude.
And you know what? Oh my gosh. When I saw you guys at Stagecoach, like he came like during the show, came over and like gave me a big hug. Like, but that's who Jelly Roll is.
We love Elle, man.
I love you guys.
You're just a little light, you know?
Oh,
you remind
thank
me of
you.
like fairy energy, and don't take that the wrong way, but
No,
like,
I don't. In one of my past lives, she was like, you were Faye in like the beginning times of Earth.
I love that. No, you do. You just have this twinkle about you, and it doesn't matter what you're going through. It's like you are always just trying to make everybody happy around you. Aww. And I just love that about you.
I feel like I saw a lot of things back in Hollywood where like you didn't get in trouble for how you treated people. And I'll never forget like seeing how like after someone got yelled at, for instance, how that made someone feel.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have worked for me who would be like, she's a fucking bitch. And I am not a perfect person. I have grown a lot, and I've eaten shelves of humble pie. But I really do believe, especially just for like where I'm at now, everything that has brought me to here, it's like all I can control is like my reaction. And I've been a very reactive person my whole life. But if I continue to put out what I hope to receive, then I can feel the path of my life and the trajectory of my joy going to where I hope it lands. And that's just like waking up, making choices. I look at my son Lucky and I say, we're choosing kindness today, buddy.
I love his name.
Thank you.
So cute.
We got lucky with him, so.
I love that. And I think as unforgiving as the world feels, they love to see growth. And I think them just hearing this podcast is going to change their entire perception of you.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And like, I'm obsessed with you. So.
Oh, girl, you come here anytime,
Thank
baby.
you.
You can sit on my couch every year. I do not care.
Thank
I
you.
always have space
we
for
have
you.
To we have to see the evolution of growth.
We really do.
So see you next year.
Yeah, seriously. So take me on this journey of your first album that you dropped in 2015. Like what were the steps that led up to that? Because not everybody can just get an album and a record deal and all that stuff.
No, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I've been playing shows since I was like 15 years old, and my mom was always super, super supportive. And like she would help me sneak into bars. She knew that I had a fake ID, and like I had a talent for it, and like I started writing songs at like 14 years old, and And then once I started playing the banjo, it was different. Like I kind of stood out. And so I was playing country songs in New York, and I was getting like residencies at like 18, 19 years old. And then a manager found out about me, and I had already left New York, was living in LA, losing my mind, going kind of crazy, like LA is not for me. And
I always find that fascinating because it's like most people who grew up in New York can't handle LA, and most people who grew up in LA can't handle New York.
Right.
I grew up in Vegas and LA, so when I go to New York, I'm like overstimulated.
Yeah. No, it can be a lot. Like I romanticize about like New York, and I really love going back to visit now because my mom and dad, my stepdad still live there, and my son loves going to New York. So it's always like a really fun time now. I just don't. I got very accustomed to having like acreage, even if it's 5.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to have a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm like I cruise around the neighborhood. I don't have acreage, but we're buying another house, and I love 4-wheelers and golf carts, and like I have a tractor in my East Nashville like yard.
Come out this way.
You know what? We're looking. It's like 20 minutes away from here.
Yay.
So it's really, really beautiful. Mama needs a pool.
Yeah.
So I got to swim.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what?
We were talking about you getting your, you dropping your first album, music
so
journey.
I moved to LA, and I just like was always playing shows. I wasn't signed, nothing. And then this manager, I started working with him.
Did your dad ever try to help you? Not to cut you off. But
No.
Okay. You didn't want his help. You were like, no.
No. And honestly, I didn't talk to my dad. I go for like 4 or 5 years without talking to my dad.
Understood.
So I got signed. I released my album, everything. Honestly, when I put out my record and people finally started asking about my dad called me and was like, don't fucking talk about me in the press. Like, all right. Okay, great. But also it's like, get fucked. I don't care. Like, hey, listen, people have asked me about your fucking ass for years. And I'm like, you're talking out your ass, and you're talking shit about drag and fucking, anti-gay rights, and it's like, get fucked.
Oh,
like,
no, I never heard that. I didn't know that.
He's just talking out of his ass, and I want to use this opportunity to say, I disagree. I do not agree with what he says.
Yeah.
I believe in all forms of love, and I just believe
Yes.
in anyone finding their happiness and their joy in whatever way, whatever capacity that is. There are no politics when it comes to love.
Absolutely.
That's it. And so, he never helped me. I never wanted his help. He also didn't have a very good reputation. So that was really it. It wasn't even like a lot of like, I've got to pay my own way. I was like, I don't want to be associated with him. And I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but I don't care. And
Good reputation as in like working with him? Like he
he's
just
just not nice.
Right,
He's just
gotcha.
not nice. And I wanted to be nice. My whole thing is like, I always want people to want to work with me again. And not everyone can say that because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And like, I've fucked up a lot. Like
We
a
all
lot.
learn and we all grow.
Yeah. But my label hasn't dropped me. And so I went in, it was Christmas of probably 2014. I was maybe 22 years old. And I go into an empty office, and it was before Sony bought EMI. And this guy named Jake Ottman, I just went in with my banjo, and I played a song called Good to Be a Man. And he signed me right on the spot. So I got a publishing deal. He sent that song to Peter Edge, who's the chairman of RCA. And I'd been kind of talking to some labels, and everyone was sort of like dicking me around. And RCA was like the first, I mean, mind you, they had Elvis, and they had so many bands that like I really loved. And they were like always like full steady, like always consistent, never made me feel like they were dicking me around or anything, or like weirdly courting me. They were just cool and great, and I felt like they truly believed in me.
Which is rare for record labels.
Yes, which is very rare. And like, even though I found out that like men were getting $10 million deals, I didn't get a lot of money for mine, but I felt like they believed in me, and my first album had great success. I mean,
It was a great album.
thank you. X's and O's was awesome, and
Ain't nobody's baby,
Yeah.
I'm an outlaw. That was my shit, girl. That and Mean was my
thank
shit.
you.
Mean is a great song,
Thank
dude.
you so much.
I love that.
well, I I'm trying to get back to that whole aspect of like just writing. I don't know. It's hard. I think it was Bob Dylan. I don't know who said it, but you have your whole life to write your first album and then a year to write your next one. And it's just strange. And I got like a lot of nominations on that first album. I topped a lot of charts, and then I kept going, and like it makes me uncomfortable to say, but I'm also very proud to like I've broken a lot of records. And as like, you know, I think back to like 11-year-old chubby me, like Ellie, like at fat camp, like, and people always saying like you're not gonna ever do anything. It's like,
you did it on your own too.
Okay. Yes, I did. Eat it up.
Suck it while it's soft.
Yes. And I'm very proud. And like, I want my son to know that. And like, sometimes I think about like, at what age do I like tell my son like, son, like, don't Google me because stuff will come up. But
what's he gonna find out? A mom that speaks her mind and doesn't take shit?
I don't know.
I mean, that's respectable to me. I don't have a problem with a woman who stands her ground. Yeah. Granted, there's a couple situations that, you know, you've owned up to. And but just because your mistakes happen online and in front of people doesn't mean that other people aren't making similar mistakes behind
they
closed
just
doors.
aren't on a fucking grand TikTok
Exactly.
But America loves a comeback story. And I will say, if I didn't come back out the gate swinging and like with my shit together and putting on like great shows, I put a lot of effort, energy, and money into like this. I have an opportunity. I have an opportunity to show that I've grown, that I am better than ever, that like that might be one facet. Like my mess ups they are part of me and they are part of, ultimately I feel like I learn more. I always say like expensive lessons are like the best to learn. Yeah. Because like, ooh, I can't afford to make that one again. And so like they're a part of
where
me,
it hurts,
you know? Yeah. But like I can kind of look back and laugh and just be like, wow, that was so crazy. And it wasn't even that long ago that I was like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to fucking be here. Like maybe the world is better. Maybe it is better off without me. And like to think like, now I'm like, wow, that was pretty crazy. I was like, oof, probably should have eaten that day, you know? And I feel like it's very much behind me, and I feel so distanced from it, and I feel like I'm
you're not
happier.
that same person.
I'm not.
And if Dolly can forgive you, the world can forgive you.
Totally. But I also think that like there's such a massive part of that like helped me get to this like point where I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm not putting as much pressure on. I had so much pressure that I was putting on myself to like lose all my baby weight. And like, I was going crazy. I was losing my mind. And now I'm like, you know what? I think I'm okay. I don't need to meet anybody's standards but mine. I'm healthier than I've ever been.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. My brain is good. I'm taking like healthy medication. There's nothing wrong with antidepressants. In fact, they're great for you.
You are on medication. Were you taking it for your postpartum, or did postpartum cause you to get on them?
I was refusing to take any antidepressants because I felt like there's all these weird things. And I don't know if it's OCD or just like obsessive thinking, but like I really like, I didn't want to get on it. I don't know if maybe part of it was like, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to be sleepy. I don't want to feel like I can't create. Because I've tried to take a lot of like antidepressants before in my life. And sometimes they made me feel like I couldn't create or anything. But I also thought that I had to be like high off my fucking mind to like make a record in a month in the studio with my friends. And it's like, that's actually like not conducive and it's not good for like anyone. Yeah. And you're a mom now. And so I finally was like, all right, I reached this point of give me anything that will make me not feel sad. Yeah. Give me anything that will make me feel more confident and less anxious because I don't want to feel like this. And I got to it and I figured it out. And like, I take antidepressants and I feel great. And like, I feel happy. And I don't know. I just think that like when
there's nothing wrong. If you need it, you need it.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. In fact, I'm like, you should take therapy. And if you might need medication, you should take it. But I also I love Eastern medicine. I love acupuncture. I think a massage goes a long fucking way. Talk therapy is incredible, even on the computer, you know? Yeah. And like, I just like where I'm at now, I'm like, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And when it used to be like, I don't want to fucking hear it. Now, like, what works? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like throw this noodle at this wall and if it sticks, like, I'll take it. Like, that's good. You know, I just want to be happy. And I've learned that, like, if I can be the best person for me, that actually makes me a better mother for my son. Because I can't be doing any of this for anybody else. I have to do it for me because then I can be firm, steady, and grounded. And then that, like, when my cup is full, that's when I can give to other people.
Yeah,
and I've just
absolutely.
noticed that I could be so much more present, and I can just be. I don't know. I wasn't such a bitch to Dan, and he was like, he started to soften, and like,
Let's talk about Dan and
Yes.
Lucky. Let's talk about that area of your life.
Oh, I love them so much.
Yeah, I
I'm
see you
obsessed.
light up. I see you
Yeah.
light up when you talk about them, your stepfather and your mom. You just
Yeah.
get this like twinkle in your eye.
Family's so important to me, and sometimes it's your chosen family. You know,
Amen. I got my
And-
chosen family. Jay, Bailey, those are my chosen family. Like I don't know what I would do without them. You know?
They're like, they just become like our sturdy rock. And I think I've been really selfish a lot in my life because I'm such a hard worker. But I didn't want to make a lot of the same mistakes that I grew up seeing. And so like, again, like this thing that happened like in January, like it just changed me. And I faced a lot of stuff from my childhood that like I felt like I could put to bed. And now I've been like given this opportunity to like meet me where I'm at now and start working on these issues in my like adult life and like all my unhealthy things. And like, you know, you're only as sick as your secrets, right? And so I'm like, you have to tell on yourself and you have to be honest and truthful. And like I said before, like I started to treat Dan how I would just hope that he would treat me, because we were, you know, fighting pretty bad, and neither of us, you can't be heard if you're not listening. And so our communication was really not in a great way. We were like speaking different languages, and it was all rooted from a place of fear and all rooted from a place of hurt.
Right person, wrong time.
Yeah. And then once we started to like, hey, you can't talk, like we can't talk to each other like this. Like this is not okay. Lucky can't be around this. And we just started to respect each other. And I think maybe there is some of that missing even in our prior relationship. And so this doesn't feel like we got back together. He kept saying like, it's a new relationship, babe. Like, we have to take it slow. And I was like, let's get fucking married. Let's get married right now. And he's like, well, I want to take it slow. Like, we owe it to ourselves. And I'm listening to him. And, like, I want him to be, you know, like, I want him to feel like a man and a strong man. And I think as someone who's a performer and someone who's like, you know, I don't really think of myself as like a famous person, but I am, you know,
You are. And you've earned it. You've worked your ass off, babe.
But I know that it can be like an emasculating thing to date like or be partnered with someone who's like a strong female, especially one like I've got a reputation. It's like, oh, she's a badass and she fucking can really go toe to toe with the boys. And like, while that's all true, I want to be like a soft, feminine, like wife and like loving partner, and also have
You can
someone
be
love
both.
me. Yes, love me for both, and he does. And I need to love him, and I need to celebrate his masculine, and I also need to totally celebrate my favorite part, which is his soft, silly, sweet, because our like funny neck tattooed guys are usually the sweetest teddy bears.
Yes. Absolutely.
And that's what we love because we're tough ass chicks, right?
Yeah. Well, I had to learn that with Jay, you know, because I came into the situation with just so much baggage. And I mean, I was like a fucking just a force to be reckoned with. And I came in and I just was so used to emasculating every man that I had ever been with. I make the money. Don't fuck, you know, I'm going to fight, you know, and I don't think it's said enough as couples, especially when you are having communication issues, to be able to sit down and look at each other and say, hey, we can't talk to each other like that. That changes everything.
Yeah.
And my husband and I had to sit down and do that. And we've had the best relationship since. Communication is key. Comprehension is vital.
Yeah.
And it's like, you literally have to be you are fighting dragons with this person every day. That is your fucking teammate, your fucking co-conspirator. Like, you guys are literally slaying this thing called life together. And you guys have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
If not, that ship's not going to sail.
And it's a choice. I've struggled with like, okay, how do people get married? Like, what is it? How do you like really know? And like, do you just pick? Do you just choose? Because that's why, like, when you're just talking about that, I'm like hanging on every word. Because like, you know, I don't think Dan would be upset from like with me saying like, you know, we're doing couples therapy and like we're trying everything.
Jay and I have done so much therapy. I just had a therapy appointment before you came in here.
Right. But that's beautiful. And like, it makes your bond stronger. And like, honestly, I asked him, it was like such divine timing. This therapist who basically like kicked us out because I asked if he would go to couples therapy with me, and we had gotten into like a big fight.
That happened to Jay and us.
Because he liked this booty girl on Instagram, and I was mad. And so we walked in, we sat like, there could have been an ocean between us, and we were fighting, and she was like, I don't think that I can continue to see you guys, blah, blah, blah. And it was not great.
Yeah.
But then she emailed me, and we weren't together, but we were like in a really great flow of things. And she was like, hi, I just wanted to let you know that like I'm starting to take new patients again, and I didn't know where you guys were at in your journey. And I was like, oh wow, we're actually doing really, really well. And I asked him, I was like, hey, like, do you think you'd like want to like go to like couples therapy? And he was like, yeah. And I said, like, just as friends, like, just so we can help, like, our communication. He was like, yeah, I think I would like that a lot. And then, like, a week later, we were, like, back together.
And all you guys needed was a conversation. Like, a conversation of two people actually wanting to listen to each other can change so much.
And it's really, really crazy what happens when you put down the receipts and you put down the swords and you don't yell, and you just like take a second. Like, that's not my strong suit. It is not my strong suit. I was made to fight. I grew up in a yelling family. That's just how we communicated. And it wasn't even like, nobody wins in that. Not even the loudest person. Everyone just is like in fight or flight and shaking with adrenaline. It's like
looking like
terrible.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not good. And I think we both like grew up with a lot of that, because no one told anybody. No one told anyone that that's wrong until recently. Now everyone tells you that you're wrong for anything that you do.
Oh yeah. And sometimes I'm kind of like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, of course.
But definitely the speaking softer to each other.
Yeah.
We don't yell in our house. I think I've yelled at our daughter one time, and she really deserved it. Yeah. Like, we don't, because I grew up in a screaming household also. So I can't, if you start yelling at me, I'm automatically shutting you out.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to it.
But also, if you think about it, like, even going back to like, not toxic people, but like, you know who does win an argument? The calmest motherfucker.
Because they'll piss you off even more.
Yeah, because they'll get you. Like, I'm like, what the fuck you do? You know, like any like teacher, like I just think about like principals who are like, talk like this. I'm like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But like, that's how like I want to be. But I want to be
levels
the mom
to get to that.
Yes, and I'm not there. I'm
Me
like
either.
peeling the layer back. I'm like maybe level 1.
I'm don't start none, won't be none.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that. I just want to be the mom that like my son comes to no matter what. If he gets arrested, God forbid. I mean, I'll let him sit. I'll keep that tradition in my family. My mom said, "You get arrested, I'll let you sit in there." But I've never been arrested.
Yay.
I know, shocker. It's good.
That is awesome. I've been arrested, so that's crazy. How have you never gotten arrested?
I know. I've been handcuffed twice, but like I'm very smooth with my words. If you make
I love that. My husband's the
laugh.
same way. He can get out of handcuffs at any time. I'm like, you motherfucker, dude.
He's very charming.
He is so fucking charming. I'm like, I hate you. He can get out of speeding tickets. I get them all.
No.
It doesn't matter. And you would think it would be opposite, because they always say, oh, cops let pretty girls off. Not saying I'm pretty, but just saying,
you're beautiful.
Just saying that it's like a myth, And no, my husband gets off on every ticket. They fucking stick it to me every fucking time, man.
I only got one speeding ticket. Also, shocker. I know. And it was in my hometown.
I can't believe they gave it to you, though.
I know. She goes, I know who you are.
Oh, it was a
but
she.
I still have to give you this ticket. I was like, damn it. And then she came to the show.
Oh.
She even commented because I like took a video because I was like, man, I never get pulled over. And I took a video of like, She commented on it. She was like, I was the one who gave you a ticket, but we loved your show, me and my girls. I was like, come on, this is like $85.
I love that. That is so funny. So what's happening now with Elle? You are on your redemption tour. Your what's it called? Ask the baby.
Baby Daddy's Weekend Tour.
Baby Daddy's Weekend Tour.
And I am just playing
great?
lots of music. I'm about to finish my album. I have a lot of music coming out. I'm really, really excited about it. And it's I always say like this album is the most me, but like I think anything that I'm working on is like where I'm at in my life, and I'm very proud of the music that I'm making. And I started making a lot of it before I like had a nervous breakdown this year, and it's bringing me back to life, just like creating again and like having these like seeds planted and then making this beautiful album. So it's definitely going to be a little different than my last 3 albums, but I don't think that even though all my records they all sound like me, I don't think that any of them have sounded like exactly the same, but like my music is a representation of where I'm at in my life. And
what is it more like? Is it country? Is it rock?
It's definitely a country album. But it's really beautiful, and it's what country is to me, and everything that I've kind of learned in the country world. And I feel like these are going to be the songs. Like, I don't play every song from every album at every show, but there's a lot of songs on this album that like I'll play for the rest of my life. And that makes me really proud and excited. And I'm also sitting on an album that I made when I was pregnant before I went to country. And I'm like, Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home, I wrote 8 years before it ever came out. And so that song taught me so much about the life of music. And so I'm also sitting on an album that's like really, really incredible. And I'm just waiting for the right time for that to come out, because it's probably, the best album I've ever made. And
drop that shit.
I know.
What are we waiting for?
I don't know. I think after this big, that big eclipse, right?
Yeah.
Everything is supposed to be like all the seeds that we planted. I don't know if it's the same for every star sign. But like a lot of things are coming to fruition from like the last 8 years.
Yes.
And so everything that I've been really, really working on is all coming to a head in a good way. And I think it's the same if you believe in that, and if you believe in yourself, and if you are manifesting these good things that you're putting out in the universe, it makes so much sense if you're into, astrology or astronomy or anything like that. Like, how all this stuff can be coming, even the crazy lessons that like I've learned this year. Like, I feel like all these things are leading me to these manifestations of things that I've been maybe too afraid to try. And like when I was thinking about doing, like, wouldn't it be cool, man, to be a bad guy in a movie? I did a movie. I just did like my first like actual like really, really cool movie.
Yay.
And it's all things like you just have to try and continue to put yourself out there. And like, it's not the first movie that I've ever done, but this is the first time that like I really prepared. I worked so hard to get it.
Yeah.
And like all these good things that are like, hey, wouldn't that be cool? And just thinking about it and like putting it out and like dreaming about it, like that's manifesting.
Yeah.
That's pulling it. That's inviting it. And I always say
visualizing that it's already yours.
Yes. And I say you have to make room in your life for greatness, and like you have to clear things out. You have to like cut things off, and that's how like, like you have to clip like buds on roses sometimes, but that's how more
roses.
I'm not a great gardener, but I do have some roses.
That's been on. I'm manifesting to learn how to fucking garden.
It's hard.
I know.
It's really
hard.
hard.
I can't even fucking save a sunflower from the grocery store.
Listen,
I've tried twice.
I tried to like mulch and I'm trying to like, because what, like your house is a representation of your mind, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, my house looks like shit. So I tried to garden, and now all the grass is growing up through the mulch, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's why you need landscapers.
It's so hard.
Yeah, you have to have people help you.
I know. I'm really trying to fight this stubbornness.
Yeah, you can't do it all, Elle.
Yeah,
all right? I think your lesson this year is you can't do it all, baby.
Ask for help,
yeah, allow people to help you, baby. You need get a fucking landscaper, okay? It'll make you feel better.
Okay. Yes.
Elle, thank you so much for this conversation. It was so sweet, and I can't wait to have you back, and I can't wait to see this tour. I can't wait for people to hear this podcast. I really feel it's going to touch a lot of their hearts, and they get to just see a glimpse inside of you, and I love it.
You're so beautiful and you spread so much amazing positivity. And I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on. I love you so much, Bunnie. You're amazing.
We're going to make out after this. Don't tell Dan.
Don't tell Dan.
Don't tell
but
Dan.
I will tell my mom.
Yeah. Oh, shout out, Mom. Shout out, Mom. We love you. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dumb Blonde. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.